Welcome back to Update X24H, your ultimate destination for deep, unfiltered analyses of the stories shaping the lives of your favorite stars. Today, we are taking a long, immersive look at a fascinating phenomenon unfolding across the landscape of Chinese entertainment. In a single week, two seemingly unrelated stories captured the imagination of millions, yet when placed side by side, they reveal a profound truth about how we consume celebrity culture, how modern algorithms shape our perception of reality, and how fragile the boundaries between public performance and private life have become. Let us begin with a moment that sent shockwaves through fandom communities across Asia. A family photograph featuring Zhang Linghe standing gracefully between his parents suddenly began trending across major digital feeds. The headlines accompanying the image proclaimed it as a monumental milestone, claiming it was the very first time the actor's mother had ever stepped into public view. Within hours, custom hashtags flooded social media platforms, accumulating tens of thousands of reposts, passionate discussions, and endless commentary marveling at how precisely the young star had inherited his striking facial features. For a brief moment, it felt like a heartwarming glimpse behind a curtain, an intimate family moment generously shared with a devoted fanbase eager to know everything about the person they admire. The underlying reality, however, was starkly different and far more troubling. The headline itself was entirely inaccurate, built upon a fundamental distortion of facts. The photograph was not newly captured, nor was it published by Zhang Linghe or any member of his family as a gesture of public sharing. In truth, it was an older image that Zhang Linghe had originally shared over a year prior, featuring a crucial detail that most commentators conveniently chose to ignore. His parents' faces had been deliberately and carefully blurred out. That blur was not a stylistic choice or a minor editing oversight. It was a deliberate, protective boundary established to shield two private citizens who have never maintained public social media accounts, never sought the relentless glare of celebrity culture, and never asked for a single fraction of this unwanted attention. When this image resurfaced, the safeguard that had been meticulously put in place was violently stripped away. The unblurred version of the photograph was pulled into circulation, repackaged with a flashy, sensationalized caption implying it was a choice made by his mother to finally reveal herself. This distinction matters deeply, far more than casual scrollers might initially realize. A digital blur is not a decorative accessory. It is a sacred boundary between a public figure's career and the private lives of the people who raise them. The fact that the boundary itself was the specific target of removal, stripping away the one feature meant to protect innocent individuals, highlights an alarming disregard for personal consent in the name of viral engagement. To truly understand how this breach gained such devastating momentum, we have to look backward by just 4 days to examine a masterclass in modern digital marketing. On July 28th, Zhang Linghe was deep in the promotional cycle for his highly anticipated Republican-era drama, Overdo. As part of a studio-approved promotional stunt, his co-star Miley Wu, who plays his character's cold and distant on-screen mother, shared a staged fictional family portrait from the series. In this clever bit of marketing, Zhang Linghe's character was conspicuously left out of the frame, accompanied by a tongue-in-cheek caption playfully suggesting she genuinely preferred the version without him. Zhang Linghe immediately played along, staying entirely in character and tossing one of the show's bitter, dramatic lines right back at her, prompting Wu to follow up with an edited version that added him back in. It was a brilliant, highly effective marketing campaign built entirely within the safe confines of the drama's fictional universe. It was designed to generate buzz, drive engagement, and get people talking, and it succeeded brilliantly by trending across multiple platforms. But here lies the critical mechanism that we must sit with. That fictional, studio-crafted stunt quietly did the heavy lifting for the algorithms. By flooding the digital ecosystem with keywords combining Zhang Linghe and family portraits, the marketing campaign successfully trained algorithms and audience feeds to expect and welcome family-related content about the actor that week. When the unrelated, real-world, non-consensual image entered circulation 4 days later, it did not have to struggle from zero to build its own audience. It seamlessly inherited an already primed, highly active digital feed. This is not a matter of unfortunate coincidence or bad luck. It is the predictable consequence of a digital infrastructure that files promotional fiction and genuine private material under the exact same keywords, completely blind to the ethical distinctions between the two. When platforms treat a scripted marketing beat and an actual privacy breach with identical weight, the line separating engineered entertainment from real-world harm dissolves entirely. For Zhang Linghe personally, this pattern reveals a deliberate approach to risk management. The existence of the original blur proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is deeply protective of his family's image. Every single time he has chosen to share a glimpse of his personal life, he has taken the extra, necessary step to safeguard the identities of his loved ones. Opting for absolute silence this week rather than rushing to issue a formal, defensive statement was a telling maneuver. Instead of feeding the fire and granting the intrusive story a second news cycle, his team recognized that silence is often the safest shield against bad faith overreach. Fans, to their immense credit, ultimately arrived at the same protective instinct. Once the actual sequence of events came to light, revealing a cherished, intentionally blurred family photo stripped of its safeguards without consent, the tone of the entire conversation shifted dramatically. Comment sections that initially started with strangers picking apart his mother's facial features and drawing comparisons to other actresses quickly transformed into a unified chorus demanding respect and privacy, reminding everyone to put the focus back where it belongs, on his hard work and artistic performances. Now, let us turn our attention to the second half of this fascinating week, where an entirely different kind of story unfolded, proving captivating precisely because it lacked any need for exposure or manufactured mystery. As the Aichi Love Theater premiere of Genius Girlfriend starring Tian Xiwei and Yitian captured the public eye on August 2nd, it brought with it a quiet, beautiful anomaly that caught many off guard. Both lead actors were performing under their actual, legal birth names they have proudly carried and used since the very first day of their respective debuts. Tian Xiwei, born in Chongqing in 1997, and Yitian, originating from Hangzhou, have never adopted an industry stage name. In an entertainment industry built almost entirely upon constructed screen identities, carefully trademarked monikers, and artificial personas designed to project a specific fantasy, this simple fact is remarkably rare. The moment audiences noticed, it instantly became a trending discussion topic across social media. Think deeply about what that reaction reveals about our collective state of mind. Nobody was surprised because there was a scandal attached to their real names. Rather, they were surprised because they had been conditioned to assume that everything about a celebrity is inherently manufactured, carefully chosen for how it reads on a promotional poster, and meticulously engineered to keep the private person safely hidden underneath. When two actors walked onto the screen using the exact names printed on their birth certificates, that ordinary, everyday reality felt like a shocking plot twist. This highlights a profound shift in how audiences experience entertainment. The baseline assumption that public-facing content is entirely artificial has become so deeply embedded in our culture that raw, unfiltered authenticity now functions as a surprising novelty rather than an expected standard. Genius Girlfriend itself, adapted from a novel by Su Guangxiong and directed by Tian Yuxing in his television debut, follows a romance built on intellect rather than shallow spectacle. The choice to cast two leads whose defining feature turned out to be their uncompromised authenticity feels like a brilliant, deliberate positioning strategy for a platform banking on the power of unvarnished reality. The chemistry between Tian Xiwei and Yitian has also captured hearts through unscripted variety show appearances, most notably when Tian Xiwei cleverly named their competitive team after Yitian using a witty mahjong pun that visibly caught him off guard before he joined in the laughter. Entertainment media has naturally drawn comparisons between this dynamic and her earlier professional partnerships, such as her work with Zhang Linghe in Pursuit of Jade, highlighting the fascinating mechanics of professional chemistry between different co-stars. Yet, as these dramas expand their reach globally through international platforms with multi-language subtitles, a new cross-cultural challenge emerges. International viewers encountering these stories cold often lack the domestic context required to separate a playful promotional inside joke from an actual boundary violation, making clear communication more crucial than ever for global soft power initiatives. When we place both of these powerful stories side by side, the overarching trend of the industry comes into sharp focus. On one side, we witnessed an actor whose protective boundaries were forcefully stripped away, weaponizing a private family image under the guise of an exciting public reveal. On the other side, we saw two actors whose complete lack of concealment and reliance on their true identities became a captivating story in its own right. Different mechanics at play, yet driven by the exact same underlying condition, an audience so thoroughly conditioned to expect artifice that both the removal of a protective safeguard and the total absence of a stage name register as major breaking news. This does not make either story any more or less compelling. Instead, it provides a sobering metric for how deeply the assumption of manufacture has penetrated the entertainment world. Whether it is a redacted family photo or an unaltered birth name trending in the same week, both phenomena prove that we live in an era where audiences constantly question whether anything about a celebrity is truly what it appears to be on the surface. Uncovering these hidden signals and analyzing the quiet truths behind the noisy headlines is precisely what we are here to do for you every single week. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep and reflective journey today on Update X 24H. If you love piercing through the surface noise to discover the real stories shaping your favorite stars, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, drop your thoughts in the comments below to let us know where you stand, and stay tuned for more exclusive insights coming your way very soon.